Have you ever wondered what the best book for improving financial intelligence would look like? Maybe you'd imagine a heavy volume filled with complex charts, formulas, and investment strategies. But today, I want to introduce you to a very different kind of book, Einhund Nahmann's Money. This book hasn't just captured the hearts of countless adults around the world. It has also become the gateway to financial thinking for many. At first glance, it looks like a fairy tale written for children. But hidden inside are profound lessons about money that can completely transform the way adults think about wealth. Now, some of you might be asking, we're already grown-ups. Why should we bother reading a children's story? Before you dismiss it, think about this. Do you, or people around you, often find yourselves stressed and anxious about money? In the story, little Gia's parents constantly worried about not having enough money. Their household atmosphere was heavy, tense, and full of frustration. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? The author, Bodo Schaefer, mentioned something very interesting in the preface. He originally wrote this book for children, but after it was published, he received thousands of letters from adults. And these adults all said the same thing, that it was this so-called children's story that finally gave them the courage to take action, that helped them truly understand how money works, and even revealed to them the real secret of building wealth. So how exactly does Money, the dog, manage to use such a simple story to convey such deep financial wisdom? This brings us to the most surprising truth in this book. Improving financial intelligence is not about complicated calculations or predictions. At its core, it's a psychological game. It's a dialogue with your own fears, desires, and beliefs about money. There's an old saying, wealth lies in strategy, not in sheer labor. In other words, if working yourself to the bone was enough to make you rich, the richest being on earth should be a donkey. Most of us spent years in school learning every subject imaginable. But there was one subject we were never taught: money. Instead, we grew up carrying misconceptions, fears, and limiting beliefs about wealth. And that's exactly why this book is so powerful. Through the voice of a talking dog, it turns what adults usually see as complicated financial principles into something simple, vivid, and practical, almost like magic. So in this video, I'm not just retelling the story. I want to peel back its layers, uncover the wisdom hidden inside, and share the principles that can truly change your financial life. Because this book isn't about age. It's about whether you're ready to start building a new, healthy relationship with money. Now, what's the biggest thinking trap that keeps people stuck financially? Let's go back to the story and take a closer look at Gia's parents. They are good people. They love each other. They adore their child, they work hard, they're honest and kind, and yet, their life is overshadowed by financial stress. Why? Because they bought a house far beyond their budget, and ever since then, money became a daily source of worry and conflict. Whenever money came up, the atmosphere at home turned gloomy. Her mother would sigh and say, "If only we hadn't bought this house." And both parents blamed their struggles on the bad economy. Sounds a lot like what we see around us today, doesn't it? Many of us do the same. We blame the environment. We feel we've done everything right, we've worked hard, sacrificed, and acted responsibly. Yet somehow, when it comes to money, we remain stuck, anxious, and powerless. But think about it. If burning yourself out with overtime could make you rich, then the richest person on earth would be a donkey. This brings us to the first hidden error in financial thinking. Deep down in our subconscious, we've linked money with problems. Gia's parents didn't see money as a tool for creating a better life. To them, money was a constant source of stress and conflict. And here's what psychology tells us. Whenever your brain ties something to pain and negativity, your subconscious will automatically trigger avoidance. Children cry and hide when they see needles at the doctor. Adults don't cry, but they avoid in subtler ways, by making poor financial decisions, by spending money instead of saving it, by overlooking opportunities right in front of them. All because, deep down their subconscious whispers, "Stay away. Money brings trouble." This is what the author calls a self-fulfilling curse. The more you fear money, the more money-related problems seem to pile up. As Schaefer puts it so sharply in the book, ignoring financial problems is the same as giving up on success. And that is the first major error in our financial mindset. So what's the second financial mistake? In the story, we soon see another pattern, something psychologists call the victim mindset. Gia's father constantly complained about the people around him. Her parents blamed their financial struggles on the economy. And honestly, this mindset is everywhere. We all know people who, when faced with difficulties, immediately find a scapegoat. It's the economy. It's just bad luck. Other people are too selfish or too cunning. It feels comforting in the moment, as if shifting the blame helps ease the pain. But here's the hidden danger. Every time we blame external factors, we quietly strip away our own sense of power and control. Once you believe you're just a victim of circumstances, it becomes all too easy to give up responsibility for change. We tell ourselves, it's not my fault. It's the world's fault. But here's the core message of Money, the Dog. Your financial reality is first and foremost a reflection of your inner beliefs. If you want change, it has to start with you. The victim mindset might feel comfortable, but it robs you of the very motivation you need to take action. And this leads us to the third financial mistake, one that lies even deeper: limiting beliefs. When Gia declared, full of passion, "I want to make a lot of money," her parents immediately dismissed her. Her father said, "You should be content with what you have." Her mother added, "Some people are just born into rich families. Money isn't meant for everyone." Do these phrases sound familiar? Maybe you've even heard them growing up. Don't aim too high. Money isn't everything. Just accept your lot in life. But what happens when children grow up hearing this? Those words become an invisible chain around their thinking. They enter adulthood believing they don't deserve wealth, or that wealth is only for other people. And here's the tragedy. Once this belief takes root, you don't even try anymore. You stop before you've even started. That's why Schaefer uses the character of the talking dog, Money, to break these chains. Through Money's guidance, Gia begins to build a whole new mindset. She learns that money is not a source of pain, but a tool, that she is not a victim of circumstances, but the creator of her own financial reality, and that wealth isn't reserved for the lucky few. It's available to anyone willing to think differently and take action. So, how does the story actually show us the way out of these mental traps? This is where the first magical tool appears: the dream savings jar and the dream album. Money, the dog, tells Gia to prepare 3 jars. The first one is called the dream savings jar. Every time she earns money, she must put part of it into this jar. But here's the key: she isn't allowed to spend this money on ordinary needs. It can only be used for her dreams. At the same time, she creates a dream album. In this album, she pastes pictures of all the things she wants to achieve: the bike she longs for, the trip she dreams of, the house she imagines. Why does this work so powerfully? Because when your money is directly tied to your dreams, savings no longer feel like deprivation. They feel exciting. Each coin you drop into that jar becomes a step closer to your vision. And when you flip through the album, your brain starts to vividly imagine this better life, which awakens motivation and energy that simple numbers on a bank statement never could. In psychology, this is called visualization. Studies have shown that when people vividly picture their goals, their brain reacts almost as if they're already living that reality. This reduces fear and doubt, and increases persistence and confidence. So the first magic tool is this: don't just save money. Tie your savings directly to your dreams, and make those dreams visible and emotionally alive. The second tool Money gives Gia is the success diary. Every evening, she must write down 3 things she did well that day, no matter how small, even if it's something like finishing homework, helping a friend, or staying patient in a tough moment. At first, Gia felt it was silly, but soon she realized something amazing. The more she wrote, the more she noticed her own strengths. Her confidence grew. This is a key principle of psychology. What you focus on expands. If you constantly focus on failures and shortcomings, you'll start believing you're incapable. But if you consistently notice your successes, your brain builds a new identity. I am someone who succeeds. And here's why this matters for money. Financial success requires confidence. Without self-belief, you'll never dare to try, invest, or seize opportunities. The success diary builds that belief, brick by brick. The third tool is even more practical, training confidence by facing fears. Money asks Gia to do one small thing each day that makes her a little nervous. It could be asking a question in class, speaking up in front of others, or trying something new. Why? Because confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you build through action. Each time Gia faced a fear and survived, she felt stronger. And this strength later gave her the courage to try earning money in creative ways, instead of just waiting for her parents to provide. This is one of the book's most powerful lessons. Wealth isn't only about money. It's about becoming the kind of person who believes they can create money. And that confidence is built step by step, through small, daily challenges. After teaching these tools, Money then shares some laws of action. The first law: wealth is always the byproduct of solving problems. Most people think about money directly. They ask, how can I get more money? But this rarely works. Instead, the real question should be, what problems can I solve for others? Because money is simply a reward for value created. The bigger the problem you solve, and the more people you solve it for, the more money flows back to you. This shift in thinking is transformative. Instead of running away from problems, you start to see them as opportunities. Each challenge becomes a door to potential income. The second law is about building your first pot of gold. Money teaches Gia that everyone needs a starting capital. Not huge, but enough to give you stability and courage. This first pot of gold could come from saving consistently, from small business attempts, or from turning hobbies into income. The key point is, once you have that first pot of gold, you gain momentum. It gives you the confidence to aim higher, and it becomes the seed that grows into long-term wealth. Without this seed, people often stay stuck in survival mode, never daring to think beyond the next bill. The third law is the famous 72-hour rule. Whenever you decide to do something important, whether it's starting a savings plan, beginning a new habit, or launching an idea, you must take action within 72 hours. Why? Because psychology shows that if you delay longer than 3 days, the chances of ever doing it drop dramatically. Our brains are experts at procrastination. We tell ourselves we'll do it someday, but someday never comes. The 72-hour rule forces us to break that cycle. It says, don't wait, take the first step now. Even if it's tiny, open a savings account. Write down your dream. Talk to someone who can help. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates results. And that's why this little book, disguised as a children's story, holds such deep wisdom for adults. It reveals the traps we fall into. Seeing money as a problem, blaming circumstances, believing we're not meant for wealth, and it replaces them with tools and laws that anyone can use. The Dream Jar and Album, the Success Diary, Confidence Training, Solving Problems for Others, Building Your First Pot of Gold, and always acting within 72 hours. So why should adults read Money the Dog? Because it is, in truth, the purest financial mentor a grown-up could ever have. It reminds us that wealth isn't about complicated theories, but about dreams, confidence, and simple, consistent actions. If you've ever felt trapped by money, this story is proof that change is possible, that you can break free from limiting beliefs, and that wealth begins the moment you decide to think differently and act now. So what about you? What 3 dreams would you write down today? And what first step can you take within the next 72 hours? Remember, you are not a victim of circumstances. You are the creator of your financial future. And if this message from Money the Dog inspired you, I invite you to subscribe to my channel, Fractal Growth. Your support is my greatest motivation to keep creating. Together, let's continue exploring the wisdom of wealth and personal growth, and step by step, move toward a brighter future.